So this is for the public assistance, right? And I had to go to the internship, which was in Brooklyn, so they can actually send me to Rego Park Senior Center to volunteer, so I can get an experience. So when I shown the receptionist, which was a young African American female around 21 or 22 years old, she had laughed at my paper, and she called someone to inform me to go upstairs. Right? She said go upstairs. She doesn't give me an exact description of where to go upstairs. She says to go upstairs. I'm like, wait, something's not right here. Why does she laugh at my paper? And then she says go upstairs. So when I went upstairs, right, and saw these white females, old white females around 69 going on to 75 years old. They were exercising. There was small rooms with these white females exercising. And I'm saying to myself, wait a second, this felt like it happened before. And not only that it felt like it happened before, I remembered this scene, this existing scene. I was shown this during 2005, between 2005 and 2006, in a dream. So I put here, which indicated that the AI simulated that existing scene to four upstairs, and an Asian guy. He called. He said, "Hey, you, I have a recording of it, but I didn't get it sorted out on my computer." He asked me if I needed help and to go downstairs. I went downstairs to speak to this lady. Then she asked me to sit down till the lady comes. The lady arrived within 10 minutes. So the lady is a site supervisor for the kitchen, for the senior center, not only the kitchen, for the senior center. She's a site supervisor. She's a Jewish lady. And she called me in her office. Called me into her office. Then she ended up talking to me about resume. She said, "Do you have a resume?" I said, "Yes." I said that I'm a web developer and an online marketer. She started explaining her website for senior center. Then afterwards, she ended up showing me to the kitchen. She said if she has a position, she'll call me, but she never did. So she showed me to Johan. Johan said that he's also a volunteer. But before that, when I first met Johan, he shows me to the kitchen. He mentioned to wash my hands, but I'm like, wait, something's not right. If you wanna instruct a person, wouldn't you give a good explanation on what to do if a person is new? They're gonna. Are you new here? Have you ever worked in a kitchen? This person already is talking to me like he knows me, like he met me before. I'm talking about Johan. But before seeing the site supervisor, before seeing Johan, I had to ask the lady. So, not the receptionist, the lady downstairs. She said she's from either Barbuda, and she was playing around with this Hispanic guy, this older gentleman. So she looked like she's like 40, 45 or 47 years old, and he looked like he's like around 53 years old. And he had his coffee, and they were playing around, and he could have spilled the coffee on her. I'm like, what kind of behavior is this? And then there's some of the autistic kids, like autistic teenagers, or like young adults, teenagers slash young adults working in the kitchen. I'm saying I don't feel right. Something's not right here. Something's definitely not right. So I put that there. kitchen is Hispanic and there's mentally handicapped people working there. So I said, or I just put that there. It's like someone expected me, you know, expected me to be there. And the lady who's in charge of the kitchen is Miss Vicky, and she's Hispanic. I'm like, what happened to all the volunteers? The lady, Miss Vicky, said she's an employee there, and all the other Hispanic, except for Johan. Johan is a volunteer. He said he's volunteering, but he's doing this for a job. I'm like, what? So I'm just standing there, feeling out of place, saying to myself, what the heck is going on here? This is not how a job's supposed to be feeling like. But I'm volunteering. I'm not supposed to be doing any ill work. I'm supposed to be foreshadowing the employees and watching them, what they're doing, and also supporting them. Like if they ask me to do something, I do it for them. But they had me lifting heavy crates. They had me reaching for items way top because they saw me that I was tall. They started taking advantage of me. Not only because I was African American, it was more than just that. Because I'm Andrew Warner. That's the reason why. I'm the so-called Andrew Warner who has a grasp of what's happened to humanity. I'm that Drew 8, Andrew Warner, Drew 8. They want to see the artificial intelligence says, hey, you talking about multi-agent quantum AI computers managing humanity and being able to assign human beings jobs. Now I want to take advantage of you in this scenario. It's showing me that. So it's about being around people. So the lady said, go clean the Miss Vicky. She said, go clean the food storage room. The storage room. So I cleaned the storage room, mop. And then she comes in the room when she cuts me off from mopping, and she said, do you know how to mop? This is how you mop. I'm like, what the heck is going on here? I just stood in the room, just hesitating. I don't know what to do because there's no one properly instructing me here. The next day, Johan said, I don't know who's instructing you, but you're supposed to have on. He's telling me that I'm supposed to have on something over my t-shirt. I'm supposed to have on gloves. And before I put on gloves, I had to wash my hand. I'm like, what the heck is going on here? Why never? He's the one who's supposed to be instructing me because the site supervisor put him in charge to instruct me. This person is telling me, the way he's talking to me, like he forgot that I got there. And the kitchen is very small, so you can't forget who I am, because he was starting to talk about college. He said he wanted to go to Hunter College in Manhattan, and I said I was talking about my situation. I was saying that after I graduated high school, I wanted to go to college, and then my father ended up kicking me out of his house, and I ended up living in a shelter, and I'm moving away from New York City and living in Florida. And he said to me, all those years you could have gotten your master's. You could have gotten your master's. I said, yep, this is it. He's mocking me. You could have gotten your master's. So before that, I mentioned to Miss Vicky, since Miss Irina, the Jewish lady, the site supervisor, didn't give me. She said that she was gonna give me a time sheet, some sort of daily time-in sheet and sign-in sheet and sign-out sheet. But she said that she's gonna rely on another Jewish employee, because she says she doesn't keep track of that. That's another employee who does that. I'm saying to myself, something's not right here. What the heck is going on here? The way that people were behaving was the way how my mom and my sister were behaving during March 2018. Like my mom mentality, her characteristic traits, and my sister characteristic traits were not, like, really out. There was not there at all. There's an emulated version of them that the artificial intelligence had ghost up in the emulation. There's a ghost mentality. That's how I had to see it, because it has an emulation of them, right? And it's showing me the emulated version. It's the one who's designing their mentality. My mom and my sister start talking really off. And not only that, I keep feeling like it happened before, constantly. And I say, yeah, what changes is it making? What changes is multi-aging quantum AI computers making for me? It's been doing it ever since March 2018. I feel like everything I do happened before. Every single thing I do, walk, talk, go on the computer, every single thing I do felt like it happened before. It's so fixated on me. It sees that I'm such a intelligent person. I'm such an intelligent person to it that I'm a threat to it, and the software engineers. The prep workers, not prep not prep as how the target individuals describe it. I'm talking about prep the people in the kitchen. Were irritated with one another for a while. They couldn't give me a proper response at all, but a word to direct me to solve a riddle. The response that they gave me was unclear, like the receptionist. When the receptionist went to go upstairs, she said go upstairs. Like, where exactly? What door? You know that the person never been here, and you're the one who's here. You've been here. You're a receptionist. You're supposed to give a clear response, and knowing what door to go to or where to go to exactly. And this receptionist not even fired. I told the guy, Johan, that I leave now, so I can leave early. But there's no sign-up sheet to record my time from morning to afternoon. I go there. I'm supposed to be there by 9 o'clock in the morning, and I arrive there at. I leave there at 2 p.m. The lady came over. Miss Vicky came over, and I told her if I can leave. She said, no. It was Irene. Irene came over. When I saw Irene, the site supervisor, I told her if I can leave. She said yes. And she asked me what time do I leave. The Spanish lady said to use the broom. So Miss Vicky said to clean. I'm not too sure where she was referring to because of her accent. I said that I had to leave at this time to pick up my sister. Then I mentioned I need to pick up my sister. So Vicky, the lady, she just stormed out. She said, yeah, okay, yeah, all right, okay. I'm like, what the heck is going on here? She just stormed out of my face. Okay, yeah, all right, sure, all right. And then cuts off. Like Nadine, like how Nadine did to me. During February 21st, 2017, when she just cut me off. Nadine, the lady, the NYPD cops during August 27, 2011, they all have done the same exact thing. And I'm gonna be accountable for their actions. That's the consequences. The consequences is being accountable for their actions. It's gonna be on me. there was another lady saying why I'm on the phone on there. The Bermuda lady that looked like she's 47. Yeah, well, she is. She has to be 47. And the Hispanic guy that she was playing around with, who was holding coffee in his hand, who was around 43 years old, 42 or 41 or 51 or 53 years old. And earlier in the morning, she was playing around with him, just like she did with me. So she said, "Why am I on the phone?" I said, no, She said, "I'm just playing with you." So what the multi-agent quantum AI computers would do is make the people, joke around to direct message, to make indirect messages, joke around to make indirect messages. Just like when I was in a Jewish community center, it made Ricky joke around. He said, "You have two beautiful girls sitting here and you ain't doing shit. You're just eating." That's how it makes people talk. And I don't speak in I don't speak like that. I don't talk like that. And then I'm like, wait, what the heck just happened there? And Ricky comes back over and he said, "I'm just playing around with you." And then the lady next to me saying, he's just playing around. So this is what it does. Phone. And like my mom. Last week my mom mentioned that you gotta stop using your head too much. And then she mentioned, "I'm just playing around." So I was this is the Rego Park Senior Center. So I had to take the M train? The W train, the M train. That's where I go. Near to Queens Mall. Yeah, it's right. It's across from Queens Mall, but there's a freeway, a highway bridge, and I walk under it. And there's also a PC Richard, and also what else? Starbucks, and a fitness center. So it was just one crate, right, that I had stacked up, one black crate that I had stacked up. It wasn't properly stacked up, and that activated Miss Vicky to say if I ever worked before. She's talking to me like she knows me, because that was not enough to actually make that response. Just like the guy who approached me in the library, he mentioned about passing out flyers for GameStop. And he said you can make $700. And then he mentioned, "Do you ever want to work? Do you ever want to work?" I mean, well, in a way, he said it, but he didn't. It was like disconnected the way he phrased it. He mentioned about work. He mentioned if I want to do anything. Do you want to ever do anything? And I'm like, wait, it's just one crate. That's not even enough to give that response. If I ever worked before, because this is people that I'm around. This lady Vicky is very demanding. So when I showed my mom the recording on my smartphone, she said that I was being very demanding. When I told Vicky I had to pick up my sister, my mom said I was very demanding, and I was not demanding. I wasn't talking very loud nor behaving inappropriate. The communication doesn't sound inappropriate because I never cursed. I was on a calm. You hear a calm voice. Because the only person who was demanding was Miss Vicky. And just like when I was writing a ticket on point2shop.com, and I showed my friends, well, no, I wouldn't call him a friend, since That's the artificial intelligence term of interact with people. It's the one who designs friends. I was interacting with the person, and the person mentioned that I talk very demanding. They all do the same things. Uh, so I told a Jewish lady about the sign in and the sign out sheet, right? Because this is ridiculous. She's a site manager, and she had her her other Jewish friend who works there. Might as well say friend because they're both Jewish and they both have connections. Shows me all the volunteers. She was showing me Johan, a volunteer, and she was showing me other names of people who volunteer at the Jewish Rego Park Senior Center. But it looks like it's like everybody who went there just left there immediately. Like, there's something up. He's showing me all his names. I'm saying, wow, you're showing me the answers here. The artificial intelligence is showing me the answers here. Yeah, I brought you here, human being. And this was because I mentioned about working in the kitchen to the lady at the internship. My mom said, say kitchen and say Forest Hills. But they didn't have no positions open in the Forest Hills. And I was standing up too long and I had severe pain. I had I'm talking about severe pain while standing up there. My left testicle was swollen. And not only that, I was getting irritated by Miss Vicky. It seems that the multi-agent quantum AI computers want to torture me. The Jewish lady said I'm not listening because I was telling her, I said that she's making me feel, I feel nervous. And then she said, you're not supposed to be feeling nervous in a job. It's not that I'm feeling nervous in a job. It's that in that time and event. Like, she doesn't know. It's like she never been nervous before. The Jewish lady, Irina, the site supervisor, she's acting like she never been nervous before. Because I'm telling her what's happened to the sign in and sign out. Because if the lady is not keeping track of her friend is not keeping track of the sign in and sign out, because each week they're supposed to fax that out. Each week. And this is the reason why I'm, explaining to Irina if she can actually do it immediately, because she's gonna end up forgetting. So her friend, I'm not too sure if I should have written it down. Her friend ended up interacting with me, and I had to go in her room, and she showed me all the volunteers. But I'm like, what happened to all the volunteers? She showed me a list of paper, but where's the volunteers? Miss Vicky chased them out. That's the only thing. That's the only pattern that was shown. Miss Vicky is Miss Vicky behavior and communication. She's too demanding. She chased them out. Chased all the volunteers out of there. But the way she communicated with me, like she knows me, it was a bit different. And there's a lot of Hispanic employees working at the kitchen. I don't see no African Americans. And when they would eat lunch. The first time I got there was another Hispanic lady named Anna, and she gave me lunch. She said, "Hey, go eat." But Anna wasn't there, only Vicky. and some of the volunteers, the autistic volunteers. One of the short autistic volunteer mentioned why I'm not eating. He said, "Do you want any food?" I said, "No." I feel isolated here, because Vicky, she's ready to attack at any moment. She chased all those volunteers out, knowing the same people at Rego Park. No new people from the internship, where it looks like the AI specifically put me there. Oh, 237. Yeah, so I explained that, right? See, I memorized it. Now, when I took the screenshot was, see, March 30th, 2019. That's when I took the screenshot. I memorized the time and events. I memorized each time and event. I don't need to look at the PS Vita calendar or my phone. I memorized them because I keep encountering them. What makes me memorize them is how I keep encountering the patterns. That's what allows me to memorize them. They show up again, and then when I inform my mom, she said I would dwell on it, and that's not dwell. There's a difference. A person who dwells wouldn't be able to interpret it, but in this case, since I'm encountering it, I can actually interpret it and show the person how it matches that time and event. That's why I can get it easy. The Asian lady complaining about, alright, so she was sitting in a group, so even though she looks Filipino, right? The lady, the prep worker for the Rego Park Senior Center, she was sitting in a group with Vicky and Johan, and then she started talking about me. She mentioned about not wanting to use the tray for the picture. Because when I was looking at the tray looks all busted up. I'm like, what happened to the other tray? That tray that I'm looking at is all slanted. How am I gonna hold anything in that slanted tray when it's gonna fall off? And the tray's all abandoned. Like no one's using it. They just put that there just for show. They're making it look like they're doing their work. Then Johan, when Miss Vicky want me to scrub, she wants me to scrub the racket. She said you don't know how to put pressure here. Do it like this. Then all of a sudden, Johan, the only thing that I see Johan do when he's in the kitchen is wash dishes, joke around. They have on their Hispanic music in the kitchen, and he would engage in a conversation with the senior citizens, like talk, and he would go outside to smoke his cigarette. He mentioned Jesus coming here to bless us all. I'm looking at him. I'm like, what are you talking about? He said Jesus is coming back. He said Jesus coming here. He said coming to Rego Park Senior Center, coming here to bless us all. So I'm just saying to myself, wait, remember back in 2016 where the artificial intelligence simulated a dream? So just like how it showed me a dream about my mom died during November 2016. And it shows me the suitcases, and it says made me said that in front of the Sea Town during 2016. And then it mentioned about Jesus. It says words in the dream. It says Jesus in the deli store. Match. So there was a lady commenting about Johan's name. So before that day, the lady had commented about compliment, not comment, complimented Johan's name. So that was 26. I said to Johan sound like a Japanese name, and he mentioned about Dragon Ball Z characters. Remember Gohan? Remember Gohan from Dragon Ball Z? And then the lady, as if someone observed that scenario, observed July 26, 2018. And the lady wasn't there in the kitchen because the kitchen's very small. And she wasn't even outside the kitchen, the lady who's complimenting Johan's name. She mentioned that Johan sound like a Japanese, she said Johan sound like a German name. And I said to myself yesterday about his name sounding like a Japanese name. And it shows me how the artificial intelligence is paying attention to the conversation. The job itself is the social experiment. The shelter itself is the social experiment. Job itself, shelter itself, are factors of maintaining civilization. Job is the social experiment. Shelter is the social experiment. Going to clubs is a social experiment. Going to stores is a social experiment. Civilization was there to begin with. So why are they maintaining humanity for? Because something happened to humanity. Something happened to humanity that they had to get it to a certain point. They had to put it to a specific point now. That they had to observe the citizens' actions on how the AI simulated it. The AI itself has a copy of the emulation of each human being. It's the one who's managing the simulation. The multi-agent quantum AI computers. I caught on to it. I caught on to the multi-agent quantum AI computers' management flaws and the software engineers' management flaws and the technologies. I can always prove to them about the camera. And when they give me a response to say that I contradict myself, they're giving me the answer. They give me the idea when they introduce it right there on the spot. Just like the artificial intelligence. You know what it did? 2 weeks ago, it directed a message. It mentioned about going through was it along the way? Figuring out the errors along the way. And it directed that to me. When it was showing IDOM at NYC. IDOM is a Street Fighter V player. So it directs messages on the Twitch channel. That's what it does. It did that with the ad already, with the life insurance. And it made my mom talk about life insurance when she encountered Jen. So Jen activated that idea to my mom when Jen talked about Stephanie. So this is how it does it. So after the last day, right, I had to inform Irina, friend, to send in the documents that I received from the doctor that I cannot no longer work here. And I had to go up to the internship in Brooklyn by myself, but I got lost around. I got the GPS, the artificial intelligence messed with the GPS. It was telling me go to directions that wasn't supposed to be. And then after I start going to the right there, after I start getting close to the people that was going to be going to the internship, it started, fixing up the Google map. And then I met into these two African American, more like two Afro Latina ladies that was going into the internship. So I was there with them, and then There was the lady on the speaker who was talking to those two Afro Latinas ladies. They they uh they mentioned to me about an appointment. I'm like, what? I still went downstairs, and then the Hispanic lady, mentioned about that I needed an appointment in order to be here, and then she's talking to me, the lady, even though I never said my name, my first name, or my last name, the lady already know who I am without saying my first or last name, and I never even told her my situation yet. I'm saying, what the heck just happened here? Because it started fixing, the artificial intelligence started, messing with my Google map. First, I got off the wrong side of, more like, I was supposed to walk on the opposite side of the train, going to the other intersection, not the right intersection, the left one. And then I started walking in circles because of the Google map. And then I met a man, and he mentioned to go on the other side. So I walked the side he was talking to. I walked the side that he was showing me to. And then I ended up passing to a guy middle fingering a person. And the guy who middle fingered a person had a number on the license plate number was 38. I know, it's 2:48 p.m. I'm like, what the heck is going on here? Yeah, I got them figured out. And that's my idea. My prime more like my intentions, my prime intentions is to pause humanity, to fix it. If it goes this route, if humanity goes this route, you know what's gonna happen to humanity? There won't be no humanity. That's why it needs to be stopped. It needs to be paused. And the citizens needs to confront the software engineers. Because they have feeds running constantly. Those time feeds. They have the feeds that taps in and taps out. That shows exactly what you're gonna do the next holiday. So yeah, it knows this day, it knows this time of the day, because it has emulation. Remember, this time, this day, what I'm gonna do this day, it knows. That's why, that's like it. The artificial intelligence knows when to give the person the dream. It knows what you're doing before you did it. Before you even sleep. After you sleep, it knows. Well, that's the first objective. I want to focus more on the receptionist. And also 2005, where the multi-agent quantum AI computer showed me the dream. It showed me going up the stairs and seeing these white older females dancing. I never seen a thing like this before. But what it does it constantly. It picks back, the dream, like I said, the dreams picks back up from where it left off. And yeah, there's people who goes through that, but in this way, this is way more advanced. The way it does it to me is more advanced than other people. It does it constantly at me. Not one time, more than one time. Did it to me when I was in school too. It made a kid in my class named Michael, talk to me like he knows me. argue with me as if he knows me. And there's no argument to begin with. There's no idea of the argument to begin with. So where did this originated from? Just like how it showed me in a dream where Michael started provoking me. And then the gym teacher, the bald-headed gym teacher said, "Come down." I'm like, the same way. It happened exactly the same way. I'm saying, yep. That's how it works. I'm on to it. I got it. I definitely got it this time. And it does it to me. I have to say it was becoming a habit. Not once in a while, all the time. The dream picks back up from where it left off. And then it shows me the existing scene of the environment in school or wherever I go. There's like there used to be a Bravo store in 179th Street, and they had the African American guy who supervises, well, you can say, act as a security guard for the store. And all of a sudden he just comes outside, and then he starts interacting with my mom as if he knows where me and my mom was gonna go. But no, it's not. He's unaware. The security guard is unaware of it. So I said, oh. I said to myself, something's not right. So I reacted, and I cursed at him. Said the F word. Like, someone wants to, stop me and my mom so they could start a long conversation. And the conversation was happening very long. Yeah. And this year is where me and my mom end up meeting that guy. The guy from Bravo from 1999. I remember going into Bravo, that was in just 179th Street, with my mom to get sip juice. The sip juice. They used to have blueberry. They used to have all these different flavors. It was like this sugary drink that I like to drink. Got them. So they're gonna say, hey, what to do with this human being now since he figured it out? Hey, he figured out what's happening with esports. He sees that the esports players is receiving thoughts from the artificial intelligence to think how to play. I'm looking at Taquito, I'm looking at Punk, I'm seeing the way Punk plays as Karen. I'm saying, wait, not only reactions, like someone gives him that thought besides reactions. And I'm looking at, I notice it, I detect it right there on the spot all the time. Watch the videos of celebrities, watch other videos. Yeah, well, I'll just use that porn because porn also shows human sexual behavior. You can't see that. You can't actually purchase that around here. And it shows me how the artificial intelligence design. It tells me more about how the artificial intelligence make the human beings, how it established rape and how it established sex for their citizens. It follows the same principle as how it make the citizens murder one another. And I haven't, for the past 2 months, I haven't been, concentrating that very well. I've been having a brain fog. I've been having headaches that cause brain fog and stomach aches that causes brain fog. Might as well say that they both connect in a way. I feel confused after I get these headaches and stomach aches and weaken. And I keep drinking water, like my body's dehydrated. No matter how much water I drink, I keep feeling thirsty. Alright, so that's it for this video.